Hey there, welcome back. Today we are exploring the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Got it a couple weeks ago, just unboxed it last night, but there's a couple things I have to let you know. Number one, it says same cards, different box. And this is the Horseman Edition. You know, it drew me in strictly because of one card. So let me show you. Now, the one card, but before we get there, this deck is so wonky. It's probably going to have to go back because when you put it down, it's just won't lay flat. So that is a big problem. It is a chunky size deck and it's a little bit much for some hands, but let me find the one card that made me buy it. And I can't remember who showed it. It was on Hermit's Cave Facebook. So if you watch this video, I have to tell you that you made me do it. And once I saw the card, I was smitten. And there it is. Is that not the most fantastic judgment card? It is to me. I'm like, wow, that seems quite like the era of the witch hunting and Salem, and wow, this does, get into that quite nicely. And even that one, I liked what it said on the blackboard there. Reach behind the camera here for a second. Fear God and honor your town. Wow. So that's the world card. And it really is witchy. I like that, especially her. Look at that for the Five of Wands. Just a little old lady in her cabin having a good day, and then all these people show up and say, witch, witch, witch. So let's begin to explore. Another great card. And the backs are reversible, and they do have that gold that shines in the candlelight, so that could be quite neat. And it's reversible, and it feels like a pretty good cardstock. The clarity of the image is great, and the uniqueness is wonderful. So the artist did a fantastic job. But let's pause, remove this, and let's get busy. Oh, and I did bring some charms because one of the spreads in here, oh, this is one of those videos. I'm all over the place with this deck. This spread back here, Ichabod's Guide, it just got me going. I thought this is great. You can see all the questions there to ask yourself if you're doing the reading. I like the way it looks in a spread. And these charms are for that. So if I can't quite get it all in this video, there'll have to be a second part using the charms in Ichabod's Guide, because that is just too precious not to play with. So let's pause and get going. All right, so there you can see the Fool card. And if I skim along through the book without reading, other than letting you know what the card is about, this is Ichabod Crane, and he's entering the town of Sleepy Hollow. Now this one was interesting because this is the Magician card, and I like the nod here to the Pamela Coleman Smith with the floral edges around him. So this is an elder Native American chief casting an enchantment. This is to die for. I love this high priestess. She stands for intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, and it is a sorceress conjuring in the woods. So there is a little goat there, there's a little cat there, and the fire is just blazing, and I like the gold that's coming up her skirt there, or her dress. Fabulous. This one is Dame Van Tassel. So she runs the estate, and she is the mother of Katrina, and that's who our main character is trying to woo. And that is the father. So he's wealthy, he's contented, and he stands for authority and structure. He's got a large plot of land, apparently. And then we have the Hierophant. Straighten him out there. So that's the guy who's given us the fire and brimstone sort of sermons. He is the clergyman. And here we see the couple dancing. So Ichabod and Katrina, and this is the hero of the town back here. And he's sort of the rival to Ichabod. I love the chariot. I think that's fabulous. And you can see the determination and the strength to move these horses as he plows. And there is the rival, Brom. Strength, courage, compassion. Looks like a Daniel Boone. Get this off. Okay, now this one was quite nice. The Hermit. Now, it talks about Raven Rock as a historical landmark found on Buttermilk Hill. Can you imagine living there? In Rockefeller State Park Preserve, New York. Some mention was made also of the woman in white that haunted the dark glen at Raven Rock and was often heard to shriek on a winter night before a storm, having perished there in the snow. So this is about soul searching and inner guidance. The Woman of Raven Rock. The Wheel of Fortune. How many people saw that wheel in their grandmother's possessions as we grew up? So there's that spinning of time, and I remember pushing on the pedal and making it go faster and faster. I found that so much fun. There wasn't a lot to amuse us back then. Okay, Justice. And this is about Major John Andre, where he was a British Secret Service agent and he was hung as a traitor. So it says. And this is the Scarecrow. And there is mention here of Ichabod being associated with this in the way that his clothes were always billowy on him and he was pretty scrawny, like a scarecrow. And there is the Death card. So the Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow. Now apparently he lost his head from a cannonball in the Revolutionary War. So he comes out each night to search for his head. Temperance. And it particularly notes that she's in bare feet. So she's connected, she's sensitive. She's the barmaid. And there is our devil. And they call him Old Scratch. Shadow self, attachment, sexuality. And another great card. How many times have we gone for those Sunday drives and seen these old churches and the bells on top? And that is our tower. And the church seems always to have made it a favorite haunt of troubled spirits. Well, yes, there is a cemetery there. The Star, another striking one. So in the dark, naked and vulnerable, she performs her witchy deed. The water she pours nourishes the earth beneath her feet. She is the enchantress. And the moon. This one, it's okay to me. I understand the change and that transformation that can happen when the moon is there. So it asks us to take note of the unmasking of the inner beast and then the common wolf or dog in the background. So he's prowling around in the moonlight. Then we have the Sun card. So that one was nice, no crazy little baby on the horse. And it talks about the 4 sunflowers for the 4 elements. And this is the horse called Gunpowder. And there is my fave, the Judgment card. Bound at the stakes. Doomed, like in Hocus Pocus. We are doomed. Okay, the World. Now this is from Ichabod Crane's Schoolhouse. A gateway to the world. Learning and progressing. Achievements and fulfillment. Under the watchful eye of the community. So then we get into our wands. The minor arcana. So let's hang tight. It's nice in the book that it gives you some little illustrations there, but this is quite an easy read, quite pretty, does what it needs to do. Okay, so the Ace of Wands, you can see here, you're getting a little bit less and you're not getting pictures. So, a witch's broom, gotta have one of those. Our 2 of Wands. You know, she's looking over the village. And that ball is not the world, it is the crystal ball. And I guess she's projecting her desires into the world. The skirt here reminded me of the 10 of Cups, the way that woman's skirt is as they look over their property. Number 3. So this one is an Algonquin warrior watching ships sail by. But when I look at it, I don't see so much the ships, I see the warrior. And this guy is armed and dangerous. Okay, the 4 of Wands. Celebration. It'd be nice if there was a full moon on that one. 5, there's our poor senior citizen in her home, doing her thing. And then the mob comes along. The 6, there's been a successful war party. And the 7, this one shows spooks and phantoms. So I'll pick it up so maybe that you can see that there is a wolf back here. And let me just see. Yeah, there's a skeleton. There's a little skeleton baby here, and then the spirit. Okay. This one was neat. 8 arrows flying through the air. And I never thought about it as travel. And it talks about air travel. So that was kind of nifty. Another good one there, the 9 of Wands. Now apparently he's racing to the church bridge and certainly showing some courage on the way. 10, I did like the coloring in this one. It just talks about burdens, you know, hard work and accomplishments, I guess. Then we have the Page. Ichabod, examining his birch rod. Well, I hope he's not going to use that on a child. And the Knight. This is the ill-tempered landlord, Hans van Ripper. A bit impulsive. The Queen, super card. And this is the old witch flying on her broomstick, it says. Oh, social butterfly. How cute. And the King, the Headless Horseman, with a head on the spike. Now then we get into cups. This one reminds me, I'm going to go get it. Yeah, see if this rings bells in you and says, maybe you want to do a pairing with the House of the Dragon Tarot deck, because the line work on the table there and the hand reminds me of the images in the House of Dragon. And so I think this might be a really good pairing for that deck. I know the borders are a little bit white and stark compared to this one, but image-wise, it might look great. So I'm going to set that one aside for play for later. So we got to the Ace of Cups there. And again, you get another section here in the book, and then it begins. So yes, a witch is holding a cup of special brew. And this is Ichabod and Katrina having a cup of tea. Now it talks of unified love and mutual attraction. There's our 3 of tankards. And 4. That's a pretty good one. I guess he's declining, they say, to have a drink with his friends. He's going to retreat, withdraw, check out. But that would be more reversed this way. So, he's just taking a breather from the nightly nightcap. This one is our 5. Now they talk about a man who's drank a little bit too much. He's lying on the table asleep. And 6. The old Dutch wives sharing their ghost stories with Ichabod. And 7. Gifts and curses. Ooh, what will you choose? Cabinet of Curios. Okay, maybe we can pick these up now. A little bit of disheartened feelings there. Yeah, you can see the nod to the 9 of Cups with the Pamela Coleman Smith decks. And this reminds me of that 10 of Cups. Beautiful card. Our page, there's Ichabod again, sipping some gin. And his rival, the Queen of Cups. Looks like that senior citizen from earlier. Almost looks like she has a mustache with all the shadow work there. Knight of Cups. Sorry, King. My mistake. We went Queen, King. I'm getting lost in these images. Nice. Ace of Swords. The Duel. Blindfolded. Kind of tricky. R3. Now, it had a pretty good meaning for that one. Set this down here for a second. And let's get on to the 3, which says, a pumpkin is run through by 3 sabers. Heartbreak, emotional pain, grief, and hurt. Oh, I thought there was more to it than that, but... Oh, in the reverse section, it's kind of neat because it says negative self-talk and need to be more forgiving and optimistic. Okay. I'm going to adjust the camera here. Okay, so the 4 of Swords. He really is resting, but it looks like he really needed that rest. That was a tough day on the field. Okay, then we're on to 5. And it talks about 2 men have forsaken battle and a child is picking up abandoned swords. That's interesting. I have to play with that one visually for a bit. And there is our 6. And that is the one usually where we see the gondolier person and the child and the woman, and they're definitely leaving those choppy waters for smoother waters and a chance to restart. Instead of the swords being in front of them here, they're in the barrel. And that's sort of that feeling of putting them on the back burner for a while. You're still taking them with you, but you're going to have to figure out how to get through all those heavy thoughts, those emotional heavy thoughts, all this water down here. But that is a pretty big horse to carry all of that. Yeah, that was my witchy broom that fell over. I love this thing. Okay, then we're on to our 7 of Swords. And he too is rowing a boat full of swords out to a ship. So there's deception, there's getting away with something, but also acting in a strategic manner. Our 8. So this is apparently the British spy awaiting his execution. Nine. From nightmares and sitting up in bed, unable to sleep. Well, this soldier, he's not going to be able to rest and retreat. It's going to be a long rest. This guy is done. That's a painful ending. These cards are slipping all over the place because they're so wonky. Like me. Okay. Page of Swords. So this is Van Tassel. No! Page of Swords. At the Van Tassel quilting frolic, several men gossiped about their wartime heroism. And the blue-bearded Dauphin Martling claimed to have single-handedly engaged a British frigate with an old iron 9-pounder. Okay. The Knight of Swords. Now here there's a severed head. There you go, on his saddle. So it requires fast thinking and being driven to succeed, to take action fast. Lovely Queen of Swords. I really like the witchiness of this deck. So she is preparing a potion. King of Swords, mental clarity, authority, and truth. Now this is Diedrich Knickerbocker, and he's recording the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Our ace. And here you get some really gruesome ones coming up. So the ace, we have the ferryman known in folklore by the name of Charon, disclosing his fee for a crossing. Yeah, this guy's spooky. Okay. And then we have the corpse with coins covering his eyes. Very common, I think, in the Irish wakes. Our 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Lanterns. Teamwork. And then we have our 4. The king was in his counting house, counting out his money. So this is the successful businessman marveling at his wealth. Our 5. They call this a vagrant. I don't know, that's kind of harsh. It's just someone who's down on their luck, eh? And our 6, this man is distributing pumpkins. So there's our charity. And then we have 7. So it talks about this one being a fruit tree bearing pentacles. I don't know, doesn't look like a fruit tree there, but it is Sleepy Hollow. Okay, there is 8, the apprentice, the skilled one. 9, Katrina Van Tassel. She's in her vineyard. She's looking at everything that she has acquired. A table set for us. The Great Harvest Feast of Van Tassel Manor. Wealth, financial security, and contributions. Okay. Our page. So this is the blacksmith, which is Brom Bones. And he is admiring his work there that he's just created on the anvil. And our Knight of Pentacles with his jack-o'-lantern. Our Queen. And she's embroidering a pentagram there by the fireside. And the King. So Baltus Van Tassel overseeing his farm. So those are my wonky, tippy cards. And I'll just find out a little bit here about the artist. So there is the artist, Nick Lawyer. So he does a lot of stained glass work, I read in here. And he loves Halloween. And they read this legend of Sleepy Hollow every October. That's kind of neat. He is available on Instagram should you want to look him up any further. So, hang tight for a second. Yeah, just in case you're interested, this is put out by Red Feather, and I believe in 2024. So, this is the spread that I want to do. Ichabod's Guide, and I think we're going to mark that as part 2 because I really want to have some fun with it. But I thank you for watching, and this is new to me, but you might have picked it up last year. Let me know how you're getting on with it. Do you bring it out every October, or do you use it all year through? And any secrets you can share, I would appreciate it. Everyone, have fun, and I'll catch you back here for part 2.